Dick with the Athens Messenger. Miles, just for you, especially leading the team in points on an efficient night, getting the win on your last night here. Just what's the emotions right now for you?
Me playing my last game in the Convo hasn't really settled in yet. I know we just won. The fans were amazing as always. My parents and my family are here. I'm just super excited. I'm just glad we won. We had a great game plan going into this game. I think we executed very well. I'm just happy we won. I'm just happy.
Yeah, since we obviously were making shots at the game, but we have the confidence to take that to really make it.
Just the trust my teammates have for me when I'm not making shots. They didn't bat an eye. Knowing that I was struggling, they still trust me with the ball to make decisions. And Miles, people like Miles just helping me out throughout the game. He was obviously hitting today, so we just tried to find him.
Grant Keeper, WAB, for both of you guys. You guys have stepped it up guarding the perimeter tonight, and as of late, what's changed for you guys recently?
I think we've just been doing a good job of carrying over our game plan to the actual game. So from practice to the actual game, we know going into the game they had some key players like Hill and AG in the middle. We just wanted to double team in the post with the AG and then crowd Hill on the perimeter. So we just did a good job of that.
Yeah, my bad. I would say, just us being fifth-year seniors, you can add Sharif in there as well. I just feel like we've gotten to that point where we're not only can we help ourselves out there on defense, but we're able to help others, the younger guys like Aiden. You can even throw A.J. Clayton in there. So we're all really pretty much on a string. We've been on a string for the last few games now, so we're just trying to keep that going.
Bobby Keeper with the Post. So we're on a 9-0 run, 7.5. Kind of what changed in those last 2-3 minutes when you guys started the game pretty slow?
We just wanted to lock in defensively. We knew early on our shots weren't falling, but we definitely didn't want our offense to affect our defense. So once we really locked in our defense, we knew our offense would come, and you saw that at the end of the half.
Jaylen, especially after missing the first 7 attempts, just how big of a sigh of relief do you take after hitting that 3?
Luckily, I didn't really realize I missed the last 7. I just wanted to actually heard D'Angelo Russell yesterday after the Wizards game just say, I don't really pay attention to misses and makes, I'm just hooping. So I wanted to kind of just have that mindset, just make the right decisions, take care of the ball.
This is for either of you. Marcus Hill for the second league score in the match. You guys had just 12 points, and I hope it was that for the team just coming into this one.
Huge. Like I said earlier, just our carryover has just been there throughout these last few games, just carrying it over from practice to the court. And we knew Hill was a great player. He takes a lot of shots, scores a lot of points. So it was going to be big, crowding him early and not letting him get to a great start in the first half, for sure.
This is the third week for both of you, but what does it mean just for each of you to play in front of your families tonight?
Oh, it means the world. I got my mom and my sister here. They can't make it all the time, but the times that they do, I just try to play as hard as I can. And, I mean, they've been there with me through all the countless AAU tournaments, all these different cities that they never heard of, and they stuck with me through thick and thin, so I just can't thank them enough.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it just means everything. I feel like that's probably the best feeling in the world, just looking up in the stands and seeing the ones I love watch me play the game I love. I mean, you can't really beat that.
You guys all throughout the year mentioned the fans and just how important they are for every game, but before the game, during the senior night ceremony, just how nice is it, like just how appreciative are you just in that moment getting a standing ovation from the full crowd?
Very appreciative. I mean, I would say we have the best fans in the MAC. When we go to other schools, it's not as packed as it is, especially the student section and stuff like that, so I can't thank them enough. They show love through thick and thin. When we're not making shots, when we are making shots, so it's definitely a lot of love both ways.
Yeah, for sure. For 5 years, the fans have been consistent, great energy. Even when we were down, like when we were missing shots early, it didn't seem like it because the fans were still cheering, still getting after us, still calling our name. So we just felt that confidence, that boost that I've been feeling for 5 years here.
Obviously, the season isn't over just quite. Any final parting words for the fans here in Athens?
Just thank you. Thank you. Like I said, I've been here for 5 years, and ever since I stepped foot on this court, it's just been a family environment. Even the guys sitting from the front row all the way up into the top, I feel like we're connected and we're just a family.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you as well. Obviously, I wasn't here for 5 years, but these last 2 years, transferring in from ODU, I just want to say thank you for embracing me with open arms, sticking with myself and this team through the tough times, and we're going to try to pay it off up in Cleveland. Thank you, guys.
Two phenomenal #1 human beings. and obviously meant a lot to our program to send them out with a win in front of another awesome crowd. I think 6,000 plus. Just got into it when they needed to. Help the adrenaline, help the energy level. But to send those two out, on a winning note was really big. I want to compliment Julie and her staff and SIDs and facilities. They got a barn burner going on this week with how many 12, Scholze? Baseball, softball, MAC swim championships, men's and women's basketball, and that's not an easy task. So we appreciate them, for all they do. But the home court advantage we've had all year, from the students to the dance, band, cheer, the community has been awesome, and just great to see those guys go out in a good win.
Eric Decker with the Athens Messenger. Coach, through the first 9-10 minutes of the game, you guys ended up starting 15% from the field. Do you think that was more just lack of luck on the bounce, or was it something that you guys just weren't doing so well?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I thought we were rushing our three-point shots. You always try to run a couple plays to see how the other team's going to guard A.J. Clayton. They did a little differently game 2 than they did game 1. So, we try to make adjustments off of that. It was, you get to this point in the season, everybody knows what everyone's running. Everyone knows tendencies. So, it was maybe an ugly game to some, but it was a beautiful game to me. And, we made the plays when we needed to. I think the end of the first half, we got stops and got out in transition. Transition was really our best offense. And Sharif hit those big threes and tied the game at halftime. Came out second half, back and forth game, and got the lead when we needed to at the end. Made some big time plays. A.J. Clayton, huge shot, hit some big free throws, got the stops when we needed to, and finished the game.
Andrew Bobby, WB. How do you think your team dealt with the size? Obviously, BG's got some big guys in there. How do you think they dealt with that fact?
Yeah, relatively well. I think, coming in to hold them to 12 offensive rebounds, they had 20 against Miami. Game 1, AG had 8 offensive rebounds, and he's a load. And then you throw a 6'11" kid in there to 4, so like you said, they're really big. And halftime, I think they had 7 or 8 offensive boards. They had 7 offensive boards at halftime. We held them to 5 in the second half. And, you got to rebound the basketball. And, part of what we want to do is not foul them because they get to the free throw line. They met their, 18 free throws, a little too many. But we got stops when we needed to. I thought we did a really good job on Marcus Hill. He came in leading scorer in our league. We wanted to crowd his space and try to make it as difficult as possible and really guard him without fouling. And to have him only shoot 2 free throws was big.
So this week, Tuesday, we're going to be game 3 tonight with Marcus Hill. You guys welcomed 2 top 5 scorers in the Mid-American Conference and been able to hold each of them to a pretty low scoring average. How are you able to game plan for guys?
Where's Bobby? Come on, Bobby. You talk about 2 high-level players. Probably 2 first-team All-League guys. And when you play and you game plan, you try to limit what the other team does well as much as you can. But when you go through it, like I said, those 2 have seen every defense. Because people game plan for them, kind of like people game plan for A.J. Clayton. So you want to make it as difficult as possible. The big thing for us is we wanted to limit them transition, guard them without fouling, and rebound the basketball. I thought we did a decent job for the most of the night, and got those big rebounds late when we needed to, hit the free throws when we needed to, and I thought our defense was phenomenal. I think we had 45 deflections and 8 kills, which we try to get 35 deflections and 6 for a game, and when you do that, your defense is elite.
Coach, I kind of want to bring up in that second half there.
Don't talk about my technical. My wife's gonna kill me. I told those 2 out there, next time I get one, just walk up and smack me in the mouth. No questions asked.
I just wanted to ask though, in the moment, how hard
Yeah.
is it to just handle the emotions or just everything?
It's obviously hard because I've done it multiple times, and it cost us at Toledo. And I said, I think last game, right? I wasn't gonna do it again. I did it, and I'm gonna make an oath, like no more technicals because it almost cost us again, and you feel terrible in that situation, but you can't let yourself get caught up like I did.
Grant Keeper, WAB. Coach, you've had a wider scoring output as of late, and tonight especially, come from your guards. How nice is it to be able to have a variety of guards who can step up, especially as the month of March progresses?
Yeah, I think, all year, right, we've been pretty balanced. We've always said we don't have that alpha dog scoring 20-plus a game. Certain guys can get hot in certain nights. And, Sharif hit a couple of big threes. Jaylin hit that huge three in the corner, late in the second half, and A.J. Clayton's a huge threat. And our guys have done a great job all year of sharing the basketball. They're selfless. All they care about is, Ohio scoring, not individually. And, it kind of shows when you watch us play. They do a great job of sharing the basketball.
Obviously, now that it's March, you'll find a way to win basketball games everywhere you can. In this game, a lot happened in it. What can you say about your team's ability just to persevere?
Yeah, it's been multiple games now, right? We found a way, and that's what you want. That's what great teams do. You have a grit and a toughness about you to figure it out. And, early in the year, we were losing these games, right? Like, we always talk about we've lost 9 games by 36 combined points. And, watching the Northern Illinois game from game 1, the Toledo game, and the BG game, those were our first 3 games. We're a completely different team right now, different focus, different mindset, different, mentality, playing with a lot of confidence. And like you said, it's March 1st. There's no better time, in sports than March Madness. And, we got to keep it rolling. We got 2 tough road games, starting with Buffalo on Tuesday.
Both your seniors made really key plays down the stretch tonight, but I kind of want to focus on Miles, especially for someone who's been with you 5 years, 2 different schools, really. How nice is it to see him kind of have this sort of game, especially in his last time here?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's a phenomenal young man. Love being around him. It's well documented where every single day what you're getting out of Miles Brown. From a practice standpoint, from a competitive standpoint, from a leadership standpoint. And when you have that type of consistency as a player, as a coach, you trust him, through good and bad. And his leadership has been phenomenal. He's been through a lot of wins here, been through a lot of battles. And, we're going to need their leadership, and especially his moving forward. And, he's been playing banged up. There's some practices where he don't do certain drills, but, he's a tough kid and, came with a entourage tonight for senior night and just an awesome family. And hopefully we can keep it rolling.
Really quick about Jaylen, especially with that corner 3. He's 0-7 to that point. Just how nice is it to kind of see him not lose any confidence, kind of keep shooting, and especially hit that when the game's tied?
Yeah, like you mentioned, 0 for 5, 0 for 2, in the first half with, what do you have? 2 assists, okay? Finishes up with big 3, and almost like the Northern Illinois game, where he wasn't scoring. And I thought the Northern Illinois game, he let that affect him. And, he learned from it, obviously, kept playing, made some big-time defensive plays, and to have the confidence to shoot that corner 3, I mean, we ran the play for him. And, he puts a lot of time and effort into it, extra shots, watching film, and, he deserves that moment as much as anybody.
Thanks.
You've put emphasis all year long throughout defense and improving defensively. Just 3 weeks after allowing 100 points to Arkansas State, what has allowed you and what's changed to be able to have defensive performances like these last few games?
Yeah, I think, Arkansas State was a little different. Their tempo was top probably 15-10 in the country. And we knew transition was going to be big that game, not having Sharif hurt us. And, every game we kind of go into 3 things being the DNA of our defense. Number 1, transition defense, not allowing easy points. And then the second thing is, guarding without fouling. And then the third thing is rebounding. And if you look at the early games where we're giving up 80 points, we're losing that, to Toledo at home. Losing that BG, giving up 83 points. Those three areas were not very good. And, our guys have done a great job. Focus, practice, carryover. Our staff, does a phenomenal job, individually watching film with our guys. We've had guys who've gotten better. Aiden Hadaway's made a big jump, and, he was like a scoring magnet. Like every time we show clips and film, it seemed like, he was getting through. I felt bad for him, but he's gotten better. He's grown. And, when you have 3 really good perimeter defenders like Jaylen, Sharif, and Miles, it makes everything a little easier because you got more disruption. So we chart the deflections, we chart the kills, and when our deflections are down, our kills are down, our activity's not there. And, we chart the missed blockouts. And normally the threshold's around 32% missed blockouts below gonna have a really good chance to win it. Probably gonna win it. 32% or 33% above, you're probably giving up too many offensive rebounds. So we really chart that and make it a focus.
Just 2 games left in the regular season with Buffalo and Miami, and then of course Mac Dermott. What do you want to see from your team in just the next couple of weeks as you head into the final weeks?
Yeah, I think just the maturity, right? The focus of coming in, understanding what it takes to prepare to win, consistency. And there's 2 things, right? How do you handle adversity, but how do you handle prosperity? Don't feel comfortable. We always talk about just don't feel comfortable. Come in, same focus, same mindset, same maturity level. Now you got to go do it on the road. In a tougher environment, Buffalo, who's played well, they're talented, and we talk to our guys. You see Northern Illinois go on the road and beat Toledo. Anybody can beat anybody. So you have to have that maturity mindset, and with Gabe and Sharif and Miles and Jaylin, you got 4th, 5th year guys. Who are great leaders, so they won't let anything happen like that. I appreciate y'all. Be safe. Tell Bobby